right. How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty tired. Just got done training earlier,
Still getting over the jet lag, I'm sure.
for sure.
I mean, how was
The other
that the
day I woke
traveling?
up at like 1.
Oh yeah.
I was in deep sleep.
Right, little mini coma. I mean, how was it going there? Have you been to Singapore before?
That was my first time, my first longest flight ever there and back. It was pretty good. I liked it.
What from New York, right? So that's about at least 20 hours.
Wait, I mean, on the way back, it was pretty fast, I guess, with the how the wind works. So it took about almost 17 hours to get back home, and on the way there, it was like 19 hours.
Okay. With how the wind works, it's very
But yeah, it was
scientific.
pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you go to Asia from where we are, it's like, all right, we're gonna have to miss a day, you know? So,
Pretty much. Except when I got back home I left Sunday Singapore. Then when I got back home, I basically went back in time.
right, yeah. So that's the cool part. I like that part of it. Oh.
Time to let my dog in.
Yeah, I've been to Singapore one time. Very cool place. I don't know how much exploring you got to do with the fight week and all that, but nothing. They keep you
Yeah, we had to
pretty
stay in a hotel for after my match. So after my match, I think we went like kind of like close to the hotel. So it was like a little cool city with a bunch of bars, a bunch of shops. So that was pretty. That was actually cool to like sightsee, but we didn't get to go really where all the other cool stuff was. And I think like, after my match, I was kind of like in the mood because I haven't drank in a while. So like, I just want two martinis. And yeah, I I had those and I was like, all right, I have to go back to the hotel. I can't walk.
Yeah, that's all I need. Good to go. So yeah, quench the need there for the martinis, and you're good to go. I'll have to do more exploring next time because there's plenty to see over there for sure. But uh, I mean, congratulations on the debut, by the way. Since no win officially, but a great performance out there. Just what was the overall experience like with the first 1 week?
Everything was well ran. The experience was great. I got there super early in the morning, kind of like fell asleep. So it took me like a day or two to get used to like the jet lag. Because I never really traveled somewhere where it was like 12 hours ahead. I had to catch up. So that was actually all pretty easy. I got to train a little bit with my coach. We still game plan and everything. Yeah, I had no complaints about it. Everything was pretty good.
For something like this with one championship, which is a very big promotion, and they have all these different types of martial arts competing, uh, did it feel like more pressure for you going into this? I know you've done plenty of matches before, but they kind of build up the stage in this platform.
I wouldn't feel pressure at all. I think like when I was walking towards the cage, I was pretty. I think the nerves started to kick in. Then that's when it kind of started the pressure, or just a little bit of pressure. I wanted to like put on a good performance, and as long as I put on a good performance, I'd be happy with that. Obviously, I wanted a submission really bad. Um, I feel like I always had this habit where I don't want like let my coaches down or people I care about or who care about me. I don't want to let them down. But I'm doing this for me, and the fact that I get to be on such a global platform in front of like thousands and thousands, that's a gift to me. So, I'm just happy to be going in there and just doing what I do, whether it's pressure or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as for the performance, I mean, I know you were, maybe a little bit disappointed in the beginning. I watched the post fight that you did, and so you're kind of getting used to the cage. But now we've had some days, obviously, to digest it all. I mean, how do you feel about it now?
Yeah, so right after I got back from my flight, I went straight to training again, no breaks. I have a habit of kind of like freezing up the first few minutes. I that's just something I need to work on. Something with my training. I do the training, I do the work. It's just I guess I guess it's more so me getting used to the lights and everything and the cameras. It's just a bunch of attention on me. So, it's just a little something I have to work on, but hopefully by next time it's just all going to click in for me. This is just like my first experience, doing my first match of one championship in Singapore.
Yeah, a lot to get used to. So it's
A
kind of,
lot. It's a short amount of time.
yeah, of course, it's just a matter of time as everything is, right? So, and you posted a clip of one of the scrambles on Instagram the other day, asking everybody to rate it, Daniel. So I'm going to ask you yourself, how do you rate that scramble, 1 out of 10?
I would give it a 10 because it looks pretty cool. But her back was like right there, and I didn't really get the back as well because she just defended pretty well. So I have to give it 5 probably. It'd just be really cooler if it took the back and I got the submission.
Of course, can't go wrong in that case.
Yeah.
Take what
but
we
I
got.
reversed her, so I rate that pretty high.
Yeah, for sure. So good stuff indeed. And as for the rest of the card, like after your match, did you like stick around and watch, or was it kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go out here get these martinis? What was it kind of like right afterward?
No, I stuck around a little bit. Right after I got back to the hotel, I was watching all the fights. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss DJ's fight and Angela's fight. And there was also one, I think, I didn't want to miss Shinia's fight either. That was a little disappointing, but they're all exciting fights. So especially like I wanted to watch the grappling match too. Yeah, I think I just needed the rest because it was like a roller coaster week with everything going on. Good things. Yeah, it was just more so I needed time to relax, but I wanted to watch every fight as I can.
Yeah, of course. So many of them. I'm sure it was kind of hard, but yeah, of course, get that relaxation. And I mean, as for the other women's fight specifically, though, I mean, potentially future opponents you might have to go against. So what did you just kind of make of the ones that you did see? Obviously, Angela, great stuff there. And Sahi Ham got the win in her rematch. Itsuki lost. I know that was someone you were looking at. But just what did you think of the other fights?
So I was watching a lot of the main event. I was watching Angela and Stamp. It made me really pumped. And it was cool to see like someone like Angela Lee. And, she just had a child. So it was really cool to see her be like a mom champ, the first mom champ, doing it for her family. It was really motivating and very nice. So I'm very happy that she won. I guess it got me more pumped when I was watching her like do like submission attempts. Like she almost got another twister on Stamp.
Yeah.
That had me pretty pumped because I was working on those a lot. Yeah, it just makes me like again like right after I got back, which is like, hey, I need to work on this and that. I need to get beat up. I need to go back in there and work on my mistakes and my technique. And, just next time, just finish my opponent and not let them run away from me.
I mean, you mentioned the twister attempt right there. And I mean, is that like the most satisfying submission to hit? I mean, I feel like it's got to be up there, right? You tell me.
I mean, I've been working on it. It's pretty satisfying because you're basically like crushing someone's spine. And I think it's even cooler when you hit off MMA because like it's probably easier because you get to punch them and then they're more worried about the punches in their face and then you just hit off the twister. But yeah, I hope that's my goal. Like I hope I hit off the twister, hopefully, in one of my matches. Yeah, hopefully, knock on wood, don't get done to me.
Yes, exactly.
I'm actually knock on wood.
So what would you say your favorite submission is then?
I mean, it depends on like what's there, but I really like the rear naked choke because as time goes on, if you try to do a lot of heel hooks or like ankle locks or knee bars, especially with women, like they're very flexible. People just fight out of that. Yeah, I think just the choke, like it takes time, and the person will just fall asleep.
Yes, of course. Just let them drift off. So
pretty much.
But as for the future and getting to MMA, Danielle, I mean, I'm sure you're not quite thinking about that too soon. Maybe, I don't know. How quickly are you looking to do that? Do you think you'll have another BJJ match before then with one, or I mean, you kind of debuted a lot quicker than I think a lot of people thought you would here at 1X. So what's kind of the path you're thinking now?
Yeah, so I wanted to feel out the circle. I wanted to experience the whole thing. I know the match kind of came to me like pretty fast, but I didn't want to say no. If I see an opportunity, I want to go after it. It was like one of those things. And hopefully when I do the MMA, because I've been back to work at my striking and my rounds. Hopefully, like all my coaches can come with me, because it's gonna be my first ever fight. So I would like to be more. I like to be a lot prepared before. So if I can have everyone by my corner, I think it'll be much more comfortable and a great experience. But my next one will be a submission grappling. But with that, I'm gonna still focus on my striking. Just with May match, I kind of just focus on the submission grappling because it was my first time in the circle.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And as for the striking, like, how are you enjoying it in the start? Is it kind of a little like different, hard transitioning, incorporating that for you? How's it been?
So, I mean, I've been doing it right before the pandemic happened, and like training anything, like I got used to getting punched in the face. They were fun. But I think like once you start working on your technique and your timing, all those things just come. You just have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, as they say. And it's been working slowly for me. And I have a really good coach. I have great coaches everywhere. I want to also go up to Evolve in May to like train up there. So that'll be even perfect for me too. But as far as like the grappling, Muay Thai, and everything, like I have great people by my corner who can help me.
Yeah, definitely. And Evolve can't go wrong. There are plenty of great fighters over there. Um, as for the start of the BJJ journey, though, for you, Danielle, I know you've been doing it for a good while now, but I'm kind of curious of the story, how you did get into it in the first place. A lot of other athletics out there for young women, but you chose the path of choking people. How did this come to be?
I started jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. So like basically I almost 11 years old. I was a new kid, and it was like one of those schools where you're a sixth grader, you're also in like a big school with up to ninth grade, and then after ninth grade you go to the high school, which is like 10th grade till 12th grade. So long story short, I started middle school and grade, the youngest kid, and I was getting bullied by the older kids. And just put in perspective, like I'm just a short 70-pound little girl, went to a city school and everything. And, there's a point where like there's girls trying to jump me, or, I was going through a lot of hard times too. Like I didn't have confidence, was taking care of a sick dad at home. I just had a lot going on at such a young age. So one day my dad, back then, it's gonna make me sound really old, but back then
we're both 26 here, Danielle. You're okay.
Yeah. Back then you can print out like Google Maps, you can like pull up your phone. So my dad was like, hey, there's a fighting school, as he called it, this area, which was like literally 2 or 3 blocks from me at the time. And my mom drove me to school one night after I got done school, and I put in my name, like she gave me my information. Then I went the next day to try to take the kids class because I was still a kid at the time, and the academy was still pretty new because I think they opened up like a year ago before I started. And my mom told him my situation. I don't go to school anymore, but at the time my mom told the person like my situation, what's going on, and I needed to learn how to defend myself in case anything bad happens. So my coach introduced me to jiu-jitsu and explained to me that it's basically when someone takes me down, it's groundwork. I can learn how to defend myself on the ground. So I was like, okay, like I'm just 10 or 11. I didn't really know what he was saying. So I thought I was going to go in there even just punch these kids or whatever. But it wasn't like that. I had to put on this like the gi, which I thought was like weird. I thought I called it a robe or something. And, he put me in with like the kids. I was kind of like beating them up. But, I fell in love with it. It gave me a lot of confidence. And I think that's why a lot of people can relate to this sport, because it gives you a lot of confidence. So, as time went on, I guess like 4 months in, he convinced me to do my first tournament. We all went as a team, and I was in the beginner division. I submitted like the first 3 girls, and I got first place. And the owner of the promotion said he thought I was cheating. I was only 4 or 5 months
Good
in
compliment.
training, so there was no way. Yeah, I mean, it was a compliment, but he thought my coach was basically trying to sandbag me.
Oh,
So he puts me in the expert division. I lose my first match, but then the second match, I end up submitting this girl under a minute who had like years on me. And ever since, I fell in love with it. Like, all right, this is kind of like what I want to do.
nice. Yeah, very impressive stuff there. So, very cool. And how quickly then did you end up earning your black belt? Because, that's always an impressive thing.
When did I earn my black belt?
Mhm.
I would say like 2020. I was thinking about
Okay.
24. Well, and also like just with everything that went on like over the years, I switched schools, so it was always politics, unfortunately, wherever you go. And I felt like, it's brown belt for a little bit over 2 years, because brown belt's usually the shortest year that you have as a ranking. So I felt like I could have gotten sooner, but I feel like belts in the end don't really mean much, so it didn't matter. But it'd be cool to like have my black belt sooner, just with the opportunities that would have been presented to me early on. But yeah, I mean, where I'm at now, so I guess
Yes.
it all worked out.
Yeah. Doesn't matter now. Got it. So that's
Hey,
all
come here.
that counts.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, Danielle. The dynamic, I think, of the BJJ specialists versus kind of the MMA fighters a little bit. You've gotten kind of familiar with that, obviously, just winning against Mei, who's known as a very seasoned veteran in mixed martial arts. You took on Carla
Mm-hmm.
recently. Was supposed to be Rose, the top of the UFC strawweight division. Was Cynthia Calvillo before. Plenty of people like that. So I'm curious, like, do you feel the difference when facing like MMA fighters, like how they kind of approach the matches? Is it a big difference?
I feel like with Jay and then with Carla match, they all have a similar game. So with the whole Carla match, I kind of like once I pulled guard, I kind of regret it because a lot of what MMA players, even when I'm training, I'll give like a little example of like if you end up in someone's guard, if I'm on top, I don't want to move. I don't want their hips to move. So what it may do, she moved me up to the cage to prevent me from switching my hips or getting space. Basically controlling my head. So I feel like players have really, really good control when it goes to the ground. I feel like it's very. You can't say like good at this and they're bad at that because then you're saying Mackenzie Dern's bad. It's like she's more movable, and I think she'll beat Carla like easy. And also Carla had size on me, so I feel like that had a lot to do with it too. And that's probably like my last match. I'll never compete over 115 just after I got slammed. I just gotta take care of my health first.
Hey, it cost her more than you,
But,
though.
yeah, pretty much. She just got cut, so thank God for my forehead. Like they have good defense, and that's what May did, or she was just trying to survive because I was cranking and everything. But I feel like it's pretty similar. Even girls I train with who also fight in like other big promotions, they're just very good at defending, very good at being explosive. I think that's their biggest thing is being explosive. Whereas more jiu-jitsu people, they're engaging, they're taking their time, and then they engage. They're not as explosive as MMA fighters would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, and it kind of annoys me because I feel like when grappler goes against an MMA fighter, they don't really give grappler too much credit. I guess if this makes sense.
Yeah.
Just because there's been matches where there are MMA players who are currently fighting who are competing in like grappling matches and tournaments, and they're placing like first, second, and third.
But they're not known as the jiu-jitsu person, right?
Exactly. And it annoys me with the whole thing. Like, I'm sure Carla has beaten up girls like she's trained with girls who are like black belts and like seasoned grapplers. So it's kind of like unfair, but it's just a game. But I think MMA players deserve the same respect as grapplers do, or vice versa.
Right. Yeah, even playing field. Come on, we're all doing the same thing here,
So. Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, with kind of all that in mind, Danielle, Is there anybody that stands out to you as your toughest opponent that you've ever gone against? Doesn't have to be, you know, an MMA specific person in jiu-jitsu, but just overall for you.
I feel like everyone I go against is pretty tough. You know, even matches I've lost and won. Actually, you know, as you climb to the top, it's not going to get easier. Yeah, I feel like anyone has a chance. You know, I'm being already being called out by people, which is pretty funny. But you know, I mean, I never back away from anybody. You know, once I want to get right into it. So, you know, hopefully it's just at my weight class. That's all that matters to me for now, because I'm kind of done going up the weight classes, because that's where I had most trouble with, you know, girls who are like 125, 130.
Yeah.
And they say like weight doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter at all, because I've definitely beaten some, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's just not worth it. Like, I don't want to get injured trying to like prove a point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Not exactly.
That's why I
Worth it.
kind of retired from like the absolute divisions.
Okay, well then I guess there's no point in me. Guys, I was gonna ask. It's funny. You look at. We just saw the DJ and Rod Tang fight, right? The mixed rules, which, you know, a wacky kind of wild thing that one did. So I was gonna be like, well, Danielle, I mean, would you ever grapple like Gabi? That's something crazy. Who knows if one would want to do
Yeah,
that?
no, can't even pay me enough. No, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, and that's like the most extreme example too. So
Like, circle and just be like, once we shake hands, just tap right away.
right.
Though one of my friends beating her, so I mean, anyone's beatable, I guess. But yeah, I'm not her though. So
Yeah, so
no way.
yeah, don't have to worry about that. But speaking of the call outs, like you mentioned, I just thought it was a funny thing. The call outs that you mentioned, is that something that's kind of fun for you, or is it annoying? Because I know a lot of people can take that in several ways.
No, I mean, it's pretty fun, because like, if you're not being called out, you're not. No one cares about you. No one's paying attention to you or anything. You know, it gives me more motivation. So I hopefully go against anyone in the future that has called me out. It's mostly like trolls. I wouldn't say it's basically like anyone. I did have a call out, but she fights at like 125, so it just doesn't make sense. Like, you're just trying to be cool,
Right.
whatever. So like, if people are dying to go against me, especially if they don't like me or something at a personal level, they know where I'm at, they know where I'm training. So that's a whole different story. But again, like, it motivates me because they called me out. So basically, they're putting pressure on themselves. So then I'm just gonna try to beat them. You know, doesn't scare me, but it's pretty motivating, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, good spot to be in. There's always going to be
Sorry,
trolls.
I guess I lost you for a minute.
Oh, all good, all good. Yeah, always going to be trolls, unfortunately. And we've seen in MMA Kevin Holland, who's a UFC middleweight fighter. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's been inviting them in happily, and they've been paying for that. So, but those are
Yep.
like
No,
non-fighters, you know, straight up trolls. But it's funny, very funny to see. So Danielle, I mean, getting into this, how you did, I'm curious, like along the way, did you develop any inspirations? I mean, I guess there's many forms you can have inspirations, and so it doesn't have to be specifically anything, you know, sports related, but is there people that you've looked up to along your journey?
For sure. You know, I said probably mentioned this before. Like, I started getting into sport. I started watching like Gina Carano, and then Ronda Rousey came in. And, you know, seeing like someone like Gina Carano, like, she was very pretty, and she didn't really give off like a ditzy vibe. She was all about fighting. It was just unfortunate that, you know, she got beat by someone that was cheating, and then she kind of like lost her love for it. You know, just it's really inspiring to see someone like that, respectful and humble, and still wanting to like win her fights. Like, that was inspiring to me. And then obviously it's cool to see like someone like Ronda Rousey, you know, before she went crazy. Yeah, I was really obsessed with her at one point, and I feel like at this time of my life, I'm just obsessed with myself. Like, I want to beat that person. But it was cool to see like her use to grappling to like take her opponents down and submit them right away, you know, because those same opponents are still like in big organizations, and they're either winning still or they're getting, you know, so it's just cool to see someone like that, but women's women's combat sports on the map like she did. So that's probably like the number one thing that that I'll always respect her for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as
And
much as
I say like inspiring too. Sorry, inspiring
okay.
too. Like I want to be that girl, the mainstream, to put on women's jiu-jitsu on on the stage. You know, and that's what motivates me.
Yeah, and I mean on the world stage, off to a good start here with the partnership with One. But yeah, I was gonna say as much as people dislike Ronda, you kind of have to acknowledge what she did. So
Kind of have to. Yes,
yeah,
yes. Probably wouldn't say hi to her, but God, like, yep, I respect you. Thank
good
you.
job, lady.
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh, so are you able to do jujitsu like as your full-time job, Danielle, or do you have like stuff on the side that you have to do?
Definitely things on the side that I would like to do, and I think like you know this is my main for what I'm doing right now. It's my main focus, but obviously like I need to have like a 5 to 10 year plan. But you know I'm doing things. I'm doing other things right now. Probably won't announce it yet, but you know just to set up my future. Um, you know just saving up and everything, winning more matches, you know, getting those sponsorship deals, just working really hard. I think it'll work out for me. You know, I'm just starting to write things down. I'm
Yeah,
still new at this stuff, so it's kind of going on to me like, you know what, I
all
could do this.
happening at
So
once.
pretty motivating. You know, I think that's the best word, the best way I can describe it. It's motivating.
Yeah. And so, I mean, if you never got into jujitsu, what do you think you'd be doing now instead?
Me and my coach who came with me before he coached me. We literally were asking each other that, and it's so funny because like, what if I did not have this sport when I started? When I was like young, like what
Mhm.
would I be doing? Um, we both agreed that we would both be nerds because I'm a huge nerd. I think like I wanted to be in school to be a cop. I wanted to be a detective. I always had for aspirations to be one. Um, I'd probably still be in school with that stuff, or probably be a cop by now. But something I probably wouldn't love. So I'm just very thankful, grateful every day that I found jiu-jitsu in my life because I wouldn't have met the people or things or have the things I have, people I have in my life without it.
Yeah, definitely a very would have been very drastically different without,
Yeah, and
especially
I'd
from
probably
that
be
time.
really fat.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, you gotta live it up, I guess. So, you mentioned,
200-pound life.
yeah, yeah. Well, we don't want that, but you mentioned the nerdiness. I mean, outside of combat-related things, Daniel, what are you most nerdy about? What is kind of the other passions and hobbies that you have?
I am a PC nerd. I haven't actually played in a while. I've been focusing obviously on my matches, staying busy with training. But my downtime, I like to just play on my PC, play with my friends. Like we play different games. I'll play like different games like Valorant or Call of Duty.
Mhm.
Um, Other scary games. I love scary games. I was talking to DJ actually about it because I know he streamed for a little bit. We had a good conversation about Resident Evil because I started doing those online. And I'm trying to get like the old games on my PC, but I'm actually gonna get a new PC soon, so I'm gonna put my bonuses to work. Not really. I've had it saved, but a new PC, new specs and everything, and just get more games and just be a nerd. Just
Right
trap
on.
myself in my room after training.
Get some upgrades, yeah.
Pretty much.
All right then. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty nerdy about games as well. So, I mean, what's your all-time favorite? I know that's a hard one to put you on the spot with, but
Yeah, I can't. I
or
can't pick
maybe
an all-time
franchise.
favorite.
Then you can get multiple in there.
Okay. I mean, disappointed with the new one they came out with, but I was always a big Halo fan.
Mm.
I had an
Oh, you don't
Xbox with my
like the new one,
brother.
huh? No?
I mean, it's because I don't have an Xbox controller,
Ah,
so I probably would like it more if I had the controller. But and other people didn't like it. My friends didn't like it. So I mean, if I was just playing by myself, it wasn't as fun.
right.
But yeah, I would say like I like 2 and 3, three the most.
Oh
So
yeah, classic.
I think that's probably my favorite franchise. But it just sucks how the game went down.
I mean, that happens just over time, I think. Unfortunately, with many of these, they get so carried
Yeah, I
away.
mean, and also it's like Call of Duty too. Like I was into Modern Warfare, and then all of a sudden they started changing the game,
And go into
putting
space.
their new stuff on Modern Warfare, pretty much, and then they just ruined the game. Like they're just desperate for you to like buy their new stuff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but it's like, I guess I can't knock them because they gotta make money, but I want a better game.
Yeah,
It's a vicious
pretty much. That's
cycle.
me.
Yeah. So, all right, Danielle. Well, could go on and on about games, but taking plenty of your time. So I appreciate it so much. And I want to congratulate you again on making the debut and wishing you all the best of luck going forward. Very excited to see you continue with the jiu-jitsu and then starting the MMA. That'll be really cool. So appreciate you taking the time. It was great getting to chat with you. So wish you a great rest of your
Awesome.
day and a happy weekend.
Thank you so much.